1, 2, 3.
Welcome to ATB TV. I'm here with Brian Johnson in the office of Australian Thoroughbred Bloodstock this evening. Brian, a big week this week. We've just a little bit rattled because we've just caught up with Fluro Man, who's arrived out from America.
Yeah, one strange character that guy, isn't he? One strange character.
Have a look at this.
Lizzie dance if I live and breathe.
Well, that was very entertaining. If that didn't rock your socks, nothing will. What do you think, Brian?
Wowee.
Anyway, let's get back to the serious business of our runners and results for this week. Let's go back to what happened over the last week. We go back to Warwick Farm with the Basso. It seems a long time ago. Sunday after Hawthorn won the grand final, Brian. You probably didn't even watch it, did you?
I had no interest though, Darren. I was just worried about the races on Sunday. But as I was down to Caulfield for the day and watched the Basso, and a pretty good run. Only a second start, but the pretty hot field, that field. The winners related to Smart Missile, Surge Ahead, and came again in the straight and won. But I think Basso only got beat, I think less than a length. So I'd be pretty happy if I'd owned that horse.
Yeah, interesting enough that Chris Wallace said he'll go to 1,600 metres next start, and that race on Sunday where he ran fifth, as you say, was full of good horses, and turns out it was a stronger race than the Group 3 that they ran on the Saturday. So sometimes you go to the benchmark races and you run into a stronger field, but more than pleased with that horse. Then we turned up at stall on Monday, and we started off with Dr Turak, who ran let's say a disappointing fifth. We thought he'd go there and just win on his ability, but he ran fifth, but he had excuses.
Yeah, he had a couple of excuses on the day down. I'm pretty sure you might be able to explain better than me.
Yes, well, we ran fifth, and we didn't take him back to Warrnambool. We took him straight to the vet clinic, and he's a couple of stone lighter now. He's being gelded, and that all went well. He's obviously just feeling a bit of pain there, so that's probably why he hasn't been performing. So we've sorted that out, and he's back at Matthew Williams's, and he'll have a couple of weeks off and back into full stride. So you'll see Dr Turak back as a gelding. But we did have a winner on the day with Tons of Rossa, who's a filly that we like a lot. Matthew Williams trains. Filly by Tester Rossa. First start in a stakes race. She's done a lot wrong. She still doesn't really know what it's about, Brian, but even though she did a lot wrong, she was still good enough to win. Yeah,
as you say, she's still learning. Matty's done a good job with this horse because it's been failing to settle in its races, and he finally got it to settle a little bit. Good ride by Dean Yendler as well. He's got it out at the right time of the race, and it was just too good in the end. Won quite easily.
Yeah, it was good to see, and I think she's got a good future. Refill went around Ballarat on Wednesday, ran fourth on a heavy 10, and probably didn't really handle it.
Yeah, heavy 10, one of the worst days in Ballarat we've seen for about 2 or 3 months, but I was pretty impressed with the run because he was in a pretty well placed in the race. He loomed up on the turn, looked a bit of a chance, but just couldn't quicken on the heavy 10, and I think Darren Weir's pretty happy with the run.
Yes, well, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there, Brian, because he has pulled up a bit sore, so he's in the hands of the vet at the moment, Refill, which is disappointing because we know he's a quality horse and we thought he'd win next start over 1,400, but we'll just have to wait and see if he has injured himself or not. He's been probably what you'd say is an unsound horse. His runs have been well spaced, but he's got a lot of ability, which is really disappointing. Today we had Pastoral Alaska, ran at Bendigo, first up for Mike Moroney. It was a nice seventh. She was back. They walked early, and she was 10 wide in the corner and just got home nice. Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but Darren...
There was no point talking to you then, really. Look, she did run seventh. No pace, back, looking for further, not wound up, and... yeah, just wait till she gets up to run 3 and 4, and I think she'll be winning. The good thing about today was that she travelled well and she settled well, and that was all good. So that were the runners for the week. Gee, we've got a big weekend coming up over the next week. There's horses going everywhere. So, look, tomorrow at Hamilton, we did have Chloe Anna entered in race 1 with Jack Hill on board, but it's a heavy 10 there. So we've also got her entered at Mataura on Saturday, and right at this point in time we are looking towards Mataura on Saturday. Is it Saturday, Brian?
It is Saturday at Mataura, yeah, Turnbull Stakes Day.
Yeah, so we'll probably take her to Mataura on Saturday. So at Mataura, she's in race 1, number 6, Jack Hill to ride. Yeah, look, first up, she was really angry. Wouldn't go in the gate. She was kicking out. So Darren Topweir just told me today, put a line through that, forget she raced, and we'll be looking for something better on Saturday at Mataura because he's got a bit of an opinion of her.
Yeah, it looks nicely placed here, and she's going to get better conditions at Mataura than what she would have got tomorrow at Hamilton. And probably a good each-way chance.
All right, and our other runner there will be Stylish Lily. Looks a nice race for her.
Yeah, on paper, it probably did when you first look at the field, but the stablemate Flying Hostess, which is by Host, which we've got a horse, I think, with vitamins at the moment, and Host is flying as a stallion, and this horse ran second to Queen and Jewel last time in, and with the claim, she's nicely placed against Stylish Lily, but I suppose Darren Weir would probably know the best. Pity we didn't have him on camera.
Yeah, well, look, Stylish Lily, she's done everything right so far. She's been a nice filly, and you know, to do what she's done is good. Flying Hostess is, you know, a city horse has obviously had problems. Mataura's a tight track, Brian. Not a big straight there, so she wouldn't want to be getting too far back off the pace because there's nowhere to run home.
Exactly. Stylish Lily's bound to be in the first 2 or 3 all the way as well, and she'd be primed to sort of hit the front in the straight.
Well, they can have Flying Hostess at $2.40, and we'll take the $6 on Stylish Lily. That sounds good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And which bookmaker was that, Darren?
That was bjohnson.com.au. All right, down at Flemington, which is where you'll be on Turnbull Stakes Day, watching Platelet second up in the Gilgai. Gee, she's rated pretty well in this, and it looks like this could be the easiest race she gets to contest this spring.
Yeah, perhaps on paper, yeah, but still a pretty good field, and she's probably still not wound up as well. So I would say third up's probably going to be her go, but she...
Are you saying she can't win Saturday?
I never say they can't win. I just never say they can't lose. But she's nicely placed here. That I'm a bit worried about the form from Sydney, from the shorts, because Sessions won that race, could win Aeronautical second, and I think Spirit of Boom or Temple of Boom?
It's a boom horse.
One of the boom horses ran 5th in that race and got great straight track form as well. But Platelet's going to be in probably the first 4 or 5 all the way down the straight, and got Michelle Payne back on board, who's got a pretty good record. I think 2 wins, 5 placings from 7 starts on the horse. So all things are in place for Platelet. I think she was $7, $8 each way today.
Look, with Platelet, Ben Mallam suspended, which is disappointing, but Michelle Payne, we want to stick with a rider that knows the horse. And so good luck to all the owners in Platelet. She'll run a usual honest race. A couple of internationals running around over the weekend. We'll start with Counterridge over in Turfontaine. She's first up. We've changed trainers. She's now with Mike de Kock, and she'll be going around at Turfontaine over 1200 first up. He said she's not really wound up, Brian. He's got a listed race later on in mind, but you've had a look at the form in the race and the ratings and the weights, and how have you assessed it?
Yeah, I probably agree with you there. She'd probably be suited in the next couple of starts. I think number 7, Money Doesn't Count, is probably going to be the one to beat on form. But the way she's a fairly tractable sort of filly mare, and I can't see being too far away at race end.
There's only 7 in it, so, you know, whilst we don't really expect her to win this race, we just want to see an improved start with the new trainer, and we've got bigger fish to fry with her down the track. That's Counterridge. On Sunday over at Longchamp in France, the grey horse, Tac de Boistron, a last start winner in the UK for Marco Botti. He's stepping out in a 4,000 metre race, Brian. It's 4,000 metres, hard to believe, isn't it, on a wet track. So I see he's the highest rated horse in the race, and looking forward to seeing him go round.
And he's going to be very fit too to run over 4,000 metres, especially if there's a bit of rain. But you want it to get, you're going to be over in France, so you have to call it Tac de Boistron or something, Bistron or Bastron, however they say it. But you're probably saying it as an Australian, so you're going to have to learn the right pronunciation when you go over there.
Tac de Boistron.
But yeah, he's nicely placed, and looking back through his form, he's won last start by 18 lengths. And the start before that, he's finished only 3 or 4 lengths behind Mount Athos, who's high up in markets for the Melbourne Cup. So all the good horses are over here for the Melbourne sort of race, except for those in the Arc. But Tac de Boistron gets a field where he's probably a good chance.
Yeah, the final acceptances aren't out yet, but they come out later on today, and I think there's 14 still engaged in that race. We did have Ryan Moore booked, but apparently he's ill and won't be riding, so Haley Martin, who rode him to win last start, looks like he'll be retaining the ride. So that's Tack the Boy Strong in Longchamp on Arc Day. What a thrill to have a runner there. On Monday, we switched to Swan Hill, Brian, to dead 4 currently. We've got Glockenspiel in the first with Brad Ruilla on over 9.75. Gee, we really want to see some improvement here.
Yeah, we do. Excuses last start again, but I think he finds a field that he's pretty nicely placed. I think Darren's placed him pretty well in this race, and Brad Ruilla's in pretty good form. So, but the combination of Ruilla, Dance, AT Bloodstock, and even Lachlan McKenzie, the CEO Ballarat, points to a pretty good run.
All right, well, I want to see him put in a pretty good run. The other runner up there will be General Amore. He's in race 7 over 9.75. He's drawn the 1. So Dean Yendall rides. Got caught up in a duel for the lead last start and come off second best. Got checked at the 600 and couldn't recover. What do you make of his chances in that field?
Probably the barrier's going to help, and Dean Yendall's in pretty good form. So you'd like to see him in the first 4 or 5, and I think he's got 60 kgs. I think the minimum's about 55, so he's probably not that badly weighted, really. There's a lot of the lower class horses in the race have got to carry 55 and up. So I would expect this horse to go very well.
Personally, I think it's a bit short for him. I'd wait till his next start when he's over a little bit further. That'd be my view. All right, so out of all those runners, Brian, who's our best bet for the week?
I would go with Tack de Boston over in Longchamp, I think, on Arc Day.
Wow.
Have a double with probably Trevet in the Arc, perhaps.
All right, so you're picking Tack de Boistron. I guess last week I was lucky enough to get tons of Rossa up at $9, so that was pretty good. Your odds on pick got beat again, so I'm worried now about Tack de Boistron that you've tipped it. Gee, it's hard. I'm probably going to go with Stylish Lily. I know she's, she's in a race that there's a good horse in, but I think that track might just suit her. I expect Platelet to run in the top 2. And I think Glockenspiel had better win. So that's where we're up to. I guess the other news is that Dandino settled in really well to Werribee, and he's on track for the Caulfield Cup in a couple of weeks. And he seemed to work nicely yesterday morning.
Yeah, he looked fantastic too in the coat and worked well. And
this week we did catch up with our vet who's looking after Dandino, Andrew Cust, and this is what he had to say. I'm here at the Werribee Quarantine Centre with our vet, Dr Andrew Cust, who's overseeing the preparation of Dandino for this year's Caulfield Melbourne Cup, as he did with Jackalbury last year. Andrew, day 3, and how's Dandino looking?
Very good, very good. He's travelled exceptionally well. He's a stunning-looking horse. He lost very little weight on the trip over and has eaten and drunk well and recovered all that weight and is working very, very well.
And finally, Brian, the ATB Betfair Tipping Competition gets underway this Saturday. So I think we've got about 70 people signed up to participate in the ATB Tipping Competition. First prize trip to the Gold Coast in January for the Magic Millions. So it's a wonderful prize, and 70 people have signed up. And I think our mate Fluro Man's going to have a part to play in that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be... I think he's got a video coming out tomorrow, actually, how to play and how to put your tips on. And he's also got an announcement for something like a big prize on Caulfield. And Fluro Man will have all the details tomorrow on a new edition of ATB TV.
All right, we'll look forward to that. So it's a big week. The spring is building. We're looking forward to it all. And to you, I hope your horse wins. Until next week, he's Brian Johnson. I'm Darren Dance. And be careful, Fluro Man is in the country.